Pub feed.
Good evening and welcome to the Lock-In Pub Quiz. I am your host, Ivo Graham. Yes, it's a snazzy jacket. We had a week off, but we are back and raring to go. And as ever, you can and should play along at home. And if you really want to, you can tweet us at the Lock-In Pub Quiz with how you're getting along. However, the people really under the spotlight are, as ever, our three contestants on the screen with me, giving up their time in lockdown extremely generously, and we're very lucky to have them. First up, it is comedian and choir boy Lloyd Griffith. Hello, Lloyd.
Hello, Ivo. Thanks for having me, my pal.
It's a pleasure to have you, my pal. You've taken some time out from stoking the flames of some sort of choral World Cup on Twitter.
Yeah, there's a choral World Cup on Twitter, and obviously the choir boy in me is quite passionate about that. It's got down to the finals between two big hitters, but one of them is winning, and I'm a bit shocked by that. Basically, fair is the heaven should win.
If you see Lloyd's eyes wandering to his phone mid-quiz, he's not cheating. He is merely making his opinions felt in the ecclesiastical community. Our second guest, and I think I've used the word ecclesiastical wrong there, but on we press. Our second guest is TV presenter and best-selling author, particularly today. It's Fern Britton. Hello, Fern.
Hello, Ivo. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, and all the better to have learnt seconds before we started recording that you've returned to number one on the Sunday Times bestsellers chart. Just some fantastic live news to have coming in there.
Thank you. I'll if it's a developing story, I'll let you know.
This is our 9th episode of the Lock-In Pub Quiz, and this is, as I was informed, your 9th novel, Daughters of Cornwall. Where does it rank in the Britain canon?
9.
9. It's her worst. You heard it here first. It's very much one for the masses, but critically, it has been hounded. Our third contestant is comedian and director Stuart Laws. Hello, Stuart.
Hello. Thanks for having me, pal.
Thank you, pal, as well. A shame not to have been called pal by Fern Britton, but 2 out of 3 ain't bad. We're going to crack straight into round one, which is, as ever, general knowledge. I hope you've got a pad and a pen in front of you. Write it large so you can hold it up to the screen if required, although veteran viewers will know that we very rarely ask people to do this because it is a circle of immense trust. Mm-hmm. Now, question one, and I don't write all the questions, and I do enjoy critiquing them occasionally, biting the hand that feeds. And I would say this is a baffling question one to a general knowledge round, but let's see how we go. The question is, what was the average price of a pint of lager in a UK pub in April 1992? A question so thrilling that my daughter has actually wandered into the room to start heckling me, if you can hear her in the background. She was not a veteran of the pub scene in April 1992, nor was I, to be fair, but what was the average price of a pint of lager? And if you've written something down already, I'll have to stop you because we have got multiple choice. The multiple choices are A, 89p, B, £1.44, C, £2.25, or or nothing else. I was going to read D, but I realised that D was actually just saying what the answer was on my script. It's a shambles from the host there, but I didn't give it away. So
I
it's
actually
89p. Why do you know that, Stuart?
Well, it was my 8th birthday in April 1992 and was taken out for my first pint.
Of course. And they said, here you go, Stuart. It's an average pint of lager.
So average, let's celebrate the end of poll tax.
Nothing more, nothing less than you deserve. So just a nice sort of random bit of UK pub history there. And a reminder, of course, at how rapidly the capitalist machine moves forward. Question 2, a little bit further into the past now. Beginning and ending with 2 major extinction events, 51 million years apart. What came between the Permian and the Jurassic periods?
Beginning and ending with 2 major extinctions.
Lloyd, the first half of the question is just a bit of fluff, really. It's what comes between Permian and Jurassic. Of course, you're welcome to use the major extinction events as a clue. And for a bonus point, how much was the average price of a pint of lager in a UK pub then? This joke is just going to run and run. Lloyd is audibly wincing at being asked to reach back into prehistory.
I wasn't alive, so it's quite hard to know.
Lloyd, we were all just, optimistic thoughts in our parents' heads back in the mid-Permian and Jurassic period. Question 3 is about World War II. So again, not born, but getting a bit closer. And the question is, the name of which American rock band was also the term used by Allied pilots in World War II to describe UFOs?
This is really hard.
Oh, come on, Lloyd. The first one was multiple choice.
Yeah, but I mean, that was easy. But then subsequently, they've got harder.
Well, so 1 out of the 3 questions has been easy, and 2 and 3 have been a little more challenging. Question 2, I didn't know the answer to. Question 3, I would have got, I think, by just going through rock bands.
Yeah,
it's a big American rock band. Fern, how are you feeling?
Well, perfectly fine in myself, but mentally not so good.
Oh no. Right, well, I mean, I won't even ask you because it would be horrible to complete the trio of people not enjoying themselves.
No, I'm having one more time.
Yes! And you know what, Lloyd and Fern? I think this one will cheer you up, okay? Because this question is about transplants, which are almost always good news. And the question is, which was the first human organ to be successfully transplanted? So it's a good news story. Lloyd isn't making his sort of audible pain noises. You'd have to say that's relatively good.
I've just gone with the first thing that came into my head.
I think that's often a good rule of thumb for quizzes. Don't second
was that
guess
a clue?
yourself.
Was that a clue?
No, it is not. This is not a question about a thumb transplant. Guys, I'm not in the business of dropping little crumbs of trivia around the quiz willy-nilly. Okay, if something sounds like a clue,
Is that a clue? Was willy-nilly a clue as well? Okay.
No, that's not a clue either. It was neither a thumb nor a penis that was transplanted.
What about a lily?
Not for one. No, it's not a nilly either, Fern. We're descending into chaos earlier than we usually do, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Question 5. And this one, you're going to have a bit more focus because it's a 5-pointer with 5 answers. By country and measured by gross income, what are the top 5 film industries in the world? Obviously a couple spring to mind, but who's going to get all 5 there? And it's a point for each, making round 1 out of 9. Stu, you are a film producer and director. Have you done much work outside of... It won't be embarrassing, Stu. I don't think anyone's expecting you to have worked in 5 different major international film industries.
I have filmed all across Europe and the Americas. And when I say the Americas, I mean one of the Americas. It's up to you to guess which.
The Americas. Some of Stu's Ecuadorian cinema has to be seen to be believed. Let's go through them, starting with that average UK pint in 1992, which would have set you back a cool £1.44.
Oh,
that was big.
As if.
Celebrating. Lloyd, did you go too expensive or too cheap?
Obviously, well, when I was growing up, and we're talking 95 to 2002, okay, it was £1 a pint in Grimsby. So how has it got cheaper and then got more? I just don't know.
Yeah.
What town? Playing the Grimsby card early doors. I guess you'd have to say, Lloyd, that for all the charms of the £1 Grimsby pint, the national average might be pushed up by other, dare I say it, greedier regions. I'm talking about London.
See, when I worked in a bar, Ivo...
Sorry, Stu.
A man would come in every Tuesday, a very quiet pub that also had a beefeater attached to it. He would ask for a Carlsberg. He would pay £1.71 on his card, which was before we all got into paying on our cards. And then he would go to the toilets, take a bump of cocaine, come back and drink his Carlsberg quietly in the corner. This was 2006, 2007. How is it not 89p back in 92?
Exactly, Stu. I'm with you, brother.
Thank you.
But you know what, Stu? You and I had some lovely times together in that pint, and you never dogged me into my Coke habit, and I really appreciated it. Question 2. What came between the Permian and the Jurassic periods? We'll have no related anecdotes, please. The answer is Triassic.
It's going to write Triassic. I wrote Cambrian like a maniac.
I wrote Ice Age.
Stu, I'm afraid I vetoed related anecdotes, and that includes wrong answers, I'm afraid. But obviously, commiserations to you both. Fern, did you get that one right?
No, I put crustacean, but that's probably lobsters, isn't it?
I think it might be lobsters, but I wouldn't have known what to write, so I'm certainly not going to judge. Question 3, the American rock band also describing UFOs in World War II. Anyone?
Foo Fighters.
It is the Foo Fighters.
I was going to put that. I was going to put that, but I didn't, and that counts.
What did I say about trusting your instincts, Lloyd? Who did you put?
Red Hot Chili Peppers, because I thought they look like quite low. Because they in the sky, Red Hot Chili. Because like if you see a chili pepper, you go, "Well, that's a UFO, isn't it?"
You'd phone it in, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
I'd phone it in 100%.
Question 4: the first organ to be successfully transplanted. Fern, I haven't asked you for one of your answers yet. What did you put for this?
I'm going to say lens, cornea, retina, something in your eye.
The answer is kidney.
Oh,
that was it. I put heart, liver, kidney. You see, look.
You can't just list a load of organs at the bottom for sympathy, Fern.
It's like the gate operation.
Stu?
I put liver. I was toying with the kidney, like a cat that had brought in a mouse.
We'll stay with you, Stu, as we hear your guesses for the 5 most successful international film industries. Go.
USA, China, UK, Germany, Russia.
You've got 3, but your loyalty to Europe has been your undoing. We want UK, USA, and China, but we also want India and Japan.
Oh! I went India, USA, UK, and I put Russia, then China. But I did think about Japan.
How many did you all get out of 9, guys? Tot them up on the old Lager Triassic Foo Fighter kidney film round. Fern's got 5, Stu's got 4, and Lloyd has got 4, so it's tight. Round 2, and we're going to move swiftly on, is as ever the Before They Were Famous round. We look at pictures of celebrities when they were younger. I'm afraid to say, Stu, you were conspicuous by your absence once again. So here is your first celebrity when they were younger. Who is this? I think we know this. I think we may even have seen this photo.
Me.
I think it's impossible for her to be any bigger. Just for her reputation worldwide.
You're right, yeah.
They are very successful and very acclaimed to this day. They haven't peaked. That's what I'm saying. Lloyd doesn't know for sure, but we're going to have to move on and look at another person. No, that's not a clue. None of these are clues. Here's number 2.
Oh, hello.
We did that in the 80s, 90s, didn't we?
Yeah.
We all were doing that. We were buying our £1.44 pints. We were bleaching our hair.
I'm struggling with that one.
I think you should be struggling with that one. The problem is for me, Lloyd, I am looking at what you're looking at, but I'm also looking at the answers. So I can't tell whether I would have got it if I didn't already know, as 'twere. And in many ways, that's the saddest position to be in. Yeah. Lonely, the life of the quizmaster. Question 3. Who is this when they were younger? Cheeky. A cheeky grin.
Ooh.
I think even by the standards of this round, we're going for really big sort of cultural hitters here.
That's a big one, isn't it?
That is a big one, actually.
Got that very wrong.
No fun. Stop thinking about number 3. Let's look at number 4. Who dis?
Ooh.
Again, I wish I didn't know the answers, because to me, that is as clear as day. But of course it is. I'm reading her name on a Word document.
That's a clue.
Stay.
Yeah, I'm happy to throw in. It's not. Oh no, it's not Doris Day. Listen, you can't. In the words of my father, you can't say anything these days. I am not I'm not trying to subtly hint that it's Doris Day, for goodness sake.
Okay.
Guys, have another look at that person. There we go. Okay, so that
Have another look. Have another look and have another think. Here's number 5.
Ooh.
This person, I would say, is probably somewhere between number 1 and number 4 in terms of fame. They're all famous. They are now, but they weren't then. That's the crux of the round.
Yeah.
I'm just in paralysed silence here, knowing that my every word will be seized upon by the hungry dogs.
Hungry dogs,
on the video conference. Oh no! I don't mind saying that I actually have committed a cardinal sin there. Let's go through the answers. No, it's not a cardinal. You can't be a dog and a cardinal. Let's look at the answers, please. I'm finding this the most stressful quiz so far, even though all the quizzes are being nothing but genial and mischievous. We've had far more troublesome contestants. All of the damage here is being done by me to me. Number 1 was, of course, Helen Mirren.
Oh,
English
no!
Rose.
Oh,
Lloyd.
I put Dame Judi Dench. My gosh.
In a similar field, she would be a sort of a Google suggestion for people also searched for, but it is Mirren. Stu and Fern, you got Helen Mirren, didn't you?
Yes.
We got Mirren.
Oh, God.
You're right to get Mirren. Yeah, Lloyd, if you didn't get Liz Hurley for number 2, I'll be a bit more understanding. That's the answer, by the way. It's Liz Hurley.
That's that face.
I put Sharon Davies. I don't know what it's
I put Anthea Turner as a Hail Mary.
And who's Fern put?
Hurley.
Oh.
Fern is streaking into the lead here. Fern, did you get number 3 right?
I said, and it might be wrong, but I think that's Joe Lycett.
It's not Joe Lycett. It's a lovely thought. The man who brought me and Fern together on his Radio 4 show. It's David Bowie.
David Bowie. I finally got one.
Lloyd and Stuart, you got Bowie?
I got David Joe Lycett Bowie, yeah.
David Joe Lycett Bowie. Thanks for putting the full depot name. Number 4, Stu. I think Stu would have got this one.
I said Bjork.
Stu has got this one. My instincts for knowing what Stu will know are as strong as ever. Number 5, and this one, I did say the word dog inadvertently. I didn't say the word Snoop because that really would have sealed the deal. It's Snoop Dogg.
No idea.
Cardinal
Hands up if you...
Snoop Dogg to you.
It's Cardinal Snoop Dogg, actually.
Snoop Dogg for me.
Snoop Dogg for Stu as well. So how many does that take you to for the round, Lloyd?
2 for Lloyd, thank you.
2 for Lloyd, taking him up to 6. 4 for Stu, taking him up to 8. And how many for Fern?
3.
Taking her up to 8. So it's a Laws Britton duel with a Griffith sort of afterthought.
Watching?
And yeah, Lloyd is watching, but I dare say he's going to come into his own now on round 3, which is name. It's not a million miles from cathedrals. It's city skylines.
Yes.
But none of them, I think, none of these skylines are going to be defined by a cathedral. I may be wrong. Question 1. What city skyline is this? Oh, for God's sake. I suppose you got to give out some easy points.
I've never been to Blackpool.
Oh, what?
Fern, did you make it to Blackpool when you did Strictly?
Rather you didn't bring that up, actually.
One
week away.
You were 1 week away. I have
Ivo,
putting
clanger.
my foot in it with Fern since the minute this video call was set up. I'm really very sorry.
If you get to Blackpool, you get a bit extra money. A bit more in the contract. So I had to cancel the kitchen.
Well done, Ivo. Well done.
Yeah. Ivo, you owe Fern a kitchen now.
I don't owe Fern a kitchen. I feel very confident.
As Fern goes to make a cup of tea later, just crying because Ivo just brought it up all over again.
Ivo
making that
reading a Karen book.
I'm not reading a Karen Slaughter book. I, along with the rest of the country, will be tucking into Daughters of Cornwall, which I dare say will be fitting out many kitchen extensions in the
Yes,
household.
well, you might hear the drilling now.
Well, if we could all pause our respective renovations long enough to have a look at a second city skyline, please. Where's this?
Where's that
Oh,
in?
that is lovely.
It is like, at least they're all lovely cities.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Any of us would
Again,
turn down a mini break to any of these places once, obviously, the international situation has resolved itself. What city is this?
Oh, I don't
No,
really
it's
know.
No, it's definitely the hardest so far. Just make up a city, Fern, actually. Literally invent one. Throw a point in the bin. Give Lloyd a chance. But
Yes,
watch
please.
out for that Lord.
I think I have already, so don't worry.
Right, invented
Carry
a
on.
city. Question 4. Where is this and what's happening? You don't actually have to put what's happening.
Well, I never. Don't know.
Interesting.
Oh, I do know.
Interesting.
Do know.
Never been to Blackpool.
Where is this to bring us to the end of this lovely city skyline round, which I think has all just made us feel
Homesick.
more sort of trapped. No, we're not homesick, Lloyd. You're at your mum's. That must be lovely.
Yeah,
Oh,
kind of nice. I'm just worried what books are behind. Jim
Yes.
Davidson
Let's make
autobiography.
it very clear. Let's make it very clear that the books, the woman who needs to be cancelled off the back of this is Mrs. Griffith. It's not Lloyd himself.
Ms. Griffith, she'll go mad if you call her Mrs.
Christ. Is there anyone I won't offend today? Question 5, where's this? Stunning. Stunning. Stu, you've kept a dignified silence throughout this round. Have you enjoyed
Yeah.
it? How many do you think you've got right?
I think I've definitely got 3 right. That last one is one of 2 places. I mean, it's obvious what it is if you know what it is.
I think
It's
you've all got it
painful
wrong.
to hear you disappearing into this
Oh,
pit of self-doubt. I can't bear to have 3 illustrious quizzes just audibly sweating over these city skylines. So let's go through the answers and move on with our great lives. Question 1, it's Rio de Janeiro. If you didn't get that right, your life is not great. Your life has been a wasted opportunity to learn.
well, that's me then.
Oh,
No, Fern. No.
I couldn't
You've got-
Tell me.
remember. I couldn't remember. I thought it was Sao Paulo.
I wrote that
Oh.
first. Yeah,
you?
I did. And then
And now I've
suddenly,
come across as the worst kind of Brazilian mansplainer.
I'm used to mansplainers. Come on.
I know, Fern, but I hope that I wouldn't be added to their number. I think I had the very good fortune to go to Rio de Janeiro recently because my cousins are Brazilian, and of course that's gonna make me feel like we've all got Brazilian cousins.
because I wrote Sao
so
Paulo,
I-
and then you said a very obvious one or something right then, and I
Oh,
went,
for
"Oh,
God's
hang
sake.
on, it's not Sao Paulo, is it?"
So once again, just my inability to stop chatting has helped out a contestant. But then, if I'm completely silent, then that's probably not great, for the
You
quiz
are-
either. I have to.
Christ the Redeemer. Don't worry.
I am Christ the Redeemer. I don't think it's too arrogant to say that I should be standing overlooking Rio de Janeiro or Sao
Or Sao
Paulo
Paulo.
and welcoming millions of
Blackpool.
tourists.
Or Blackpool, yeah.
Or Blackpool. Thank you, Lloyd. Let's move on to question 2. Athens.
Hooray.
Little Greek
won't say
flag
whether or
down in the
not-
corner.
No, there isn't.
There is. Look.
on the left-hand side, yeah.
Yes, there is.
Ah.
And if you look closely, there's a sign that just says "Welcome to Athens." But it
Yeah,
just depends
yeah.
how good your eyesight is.
Just clues everywhere for that one. Number 3, and as I've made it very clear, I didn't get this one. Wouldn't have got number 3, 4, or 5. Number 3 is
I think I
It's
got
Lloyd.
it. Is it Chicago?
it is Chicago.
Oh, the Windy
Is it?
City.
It's
Happy
was
days
it
for Lloyd
the
Griffith.
the walkie-talkie building that sold it for you, Lloyd?
No, it's I've just been there. I went on a choir tour there back in 2015.
Oh, yeah.
14 actually. And I went on the tall ship Windy, which goes around Lake Michigan, and it was so violent. I was sick, and I've just remembered the skyline ever since. So,
see what threw me off? There's some soccer goals in the bottom left corner, and I thought, what are the Yanks doing with soccer goals?
The level of detail in these photos is a blessing and a curse. Fern, did you get Chicago?
Yeah, I did.
Did
not.
you have a sort
I
of
put Toronto?
Oh no!
And I put,
if only you'd vommed there like Lloyd, that would have formed.
I did do it in a toilet.
I did go to Chicago as well, and I've been there and did the tour on the open top bus and everything. But I never did hang glide over it and come at that direction.
Just singing ecclesiastical songs.
Yeah.
Right, Fern. Well, the second this quiz is over, let's get you booked on that hang gliding tour. I try to set up to every contestant at least once an episode. Question 4. This is Barcelona.
Barcelona.
Lloyd is happy. He's so happy. He's speaking in a Catalan accent.
Yeah.
Stuart
Basque,
is
region.
It was an absolute wild swing.
And what did you put?
I put Barcelona. That's why I'm celebrating.
Oh, right. I thought you were in pain, but I thought, no, your celebration
I
is
looked at the
easily mistaken.
Behind, and I thought, maybe Barcelona.
Ivo, can you tell me what that building is in the forefront of the picture?
Here he comes.
I bet you've sung
Is
that.
No, I
it
haven't.
Blackpool Pier?
It's not Blackpool Pier, no.
Have you hung glid
Blackpool
over
Tower.
Sagrada Familia.
It's the Sagrada Familia, which is just a church. A lot of people think it's Barcelona Cathedral. It's not.
It's now time to look at this city, which Stu said was between two. What were the two, Stu?
Kuala Lumpur and Shanghai.
It is one of those two. What did you put, Fern?
Oh, I was miles away. I thought I put Macau. Of course, it's AL, isn't it?
It
says
it's Shanghai.
Oh, really?
It's Shanghai. Stu's got it right, along with his Barcelona there, and Lloyd is...
yeah, that's the only one of that round that I got wrong. I put Tokyo.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but that brings us neatly into doing the scores. So I can deduce that you've got 4. Superb deduction from me there. I really am good at this. And Stu, you got 5?
Well done.
Did you get Chicago?
Yeah, baby.
He wasn't flummoxed by the soccer goals, and Fern's only got 2. It's Stuart on 13, Fern on 10, and Lloyd on 10. So there's still plenty to play for, but the bookies do now very much have their favourite. It's time for round 4.
Excellent.
We've established a tradition in recent weeks of asking a single question for round 4 with 10 answers, because that means that you can all work away at it, like the worker bees you are, while we pop to a quick commercial break. And what that question is this time, it's a top 10 as ever, and it is, name the top 10 highest selling female solo singers of all time.
In the right order?
Not in the right order. I mean, obviously, if you name them in the right order, that will be yet another feather in your increasingly heavy cap. But no, just 10 will do. Write down 10. Don't write down any more, thank you. I saw you earlier with those, what was it, organs. But yes, name the top 10 best-selling female solo singers of all time. And meanwhile, while you two at home have a quick go at that, let's pop to a break and see you very shortly.
All I crave is a good pub feed.
Hi, I'm Mick from Supergrass, and we're supporting the Save Our Venues movement to support local music venues during this pandemic. Like many other venues around the country, Bath Moles is being hit by the lockdown pretty hard, so I'm just going to put in a word for donating to their fundraiser to keep them afloat. Address should be down here somewhere. www.crowdfunder.co.uk. Long live Moles. Good luck, fellas.
My name is Luca. I live on the second floor. I live upstairs from you. Yes, I think you've seen me before. If you hear something late at night, some kind of trouble, some kind of fight, just don't ask me what it was. Just don't ask me what it was. Just don't ask me what it was.
All I crave is a good pub feed.
Welcome back to the Lock-In Pub Quiz. Hope you're feeling refreshed, and crucially, hope you're looking at the top 10 female solo singers of all time. I know I am. I've been given the answers. Here they are. Number 1, Madonna. You'd be a fool not to have written Madonna, and unlike Rio de Janeiro, I will not apologize for that. Number 2, Rihanna, the second best-selling of all time. Don't get me wrong. It's been wall-to-wall bangers since 2007, but you still wouldn't have put her at number 2.
When Rihanna was new, I, to a classroom of primary school children, referred to Rihanna as Rhiannon, and it was one of the most embarrassing moments of my life.
But Stu, you wouldn't make that mistake now, not with her being the second biggest selling solo female singer of all time. Fern, did you get Rihanna/Rhiannon? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Fern.
I didn't get her at all because, yeah, that's not my thing.
It's absolutely fine, Fern. We can't all be into everything, but if you didn't put Taylor Swift, then you really will have to leave the quiz immediately. It's goodbye to Fern Britton. Enjoy your best-selling novel. No, she's called my bluff.
I might just come back and just check the others. Yeah.
It'd be amazing if you just stepped into the mirror and then you were just in the mirror world forever. Where'd Fern Britton go?
Fern, I'm very sorry about that. Number 4 is Mariah Carey. Any more luck there?
Lloyd.
That's the big one we all missed out. Well, apart from Lloyd and Fern.
And Fern. No, Fern didn't get Mariah Carey. Did Fern get Whitney Houston?
Oh my goodness me.
God.
I knew that the 90s would be my little, the 80s, 90s would be my little, like, area.
I feel like
I said,
I'm really discounting the sort of narrative of what Lloyd and Stu got for this, just concentrating on Fern's face with every revelation. Obviously, we'll check in with all of you at the end, but Fern, did you at least have the common decency to put Celine Dion?
stand up.
Did you at least have the get up and go to put Barbara Streisand?
Oh, no.
Did you have the quick wit that required you to put Katy Perry?
No! What?
That
Have the speed of mind to put Lady Gaga?
few.
And did you have the patriotic heart that would have led you to writing Adele?
Whoa!
Yes.
Fern's got Adele. We can breathe easy.
Sorry, where's Beyonce?
I am surprised that Beyonce is not in that top 10.
Can I just ask you a few questions, okay?
Please, Lloyd.
Yeah, where's Beyonce? Okay.
Yep.
Where's Cher? Okay.
Right.
Yep,
Where's
Britney.
Aretha Franklin? Absolutely not.
Yep.
No, there's no RESPCT on this quiz.
Where's
And
Diana
then-
Ross?
Where's Tina Turner? Hey?
Yes, it does feel like certain swathes of genre and history have
Katy
been left
Perry.
by the roadside. But you know, these modern players, it's all streaming. I don't know. Or I've been told that this has been verified across multiple sources. I got to say, Lloyd, I liked all of the names you suggested. Fern, do you want to bring any specific grievances
Oh, yes.
to the table?
I mean, Carole King, but mostly because she wrote so many, I suppose.
Yeah.
Dionne Warwick. Fitzgerald,
Jim Morris.
Blondie, Shirley Bassey.
Shirley
Been
Bassey.
around for so long. They should have sold more records because of their longevity, because they're that's what I'm living on, the back catalogue of the 9 books. But it's
Managed to squeeze in her literary career even into this round. Yeah, again, with the exception of Blondie, which you'd have to say was not a solo singer, those are also lovely suggestions. I don't know what to say other than that the data that is in front of me is the data by which we are scoring this quiz. And I guess if everyone's had a shocker, no one's had a shocker. Fern, did you get 2?
Yes.
You got Madonna and Adele and naught in betwixt. Stu?
I got 4.
What? Any more ones that you put that you think should have been in that others haven't brought up already?
Nina Simone, surely.
Stop saying surely. These all feel like they should be right, but then we couldn't have all of your suggestions in the top 10 either. Even
Shania Twain. Country music. How much that sells?
Nah, Shania Twain.
Taylor Swift got in there, didn't she?
Taylor Swift cornered the country market and then expanded into the pop market with devastating success.
I mean, but Dolly
Dolly Parton
wrote everything.
She worked so hard to get on that list.
Whitney, successful.
Don't do it, Stu.
Comeback, average price of a pint in 1992. All is forgiven.
This is
We have
unbelievable.
angered these kind quizzers.
6, please.
Well done,
So I got
Lloyd.
Madonna, Celine Dion, Adele, Taylor Swift, Gaga, and Carey. On your
Drew Carey?
absolute shambles of a list. No offense.
Please have some respect. It's not Gaga, it's Lady Gaga.
Lady
It's
Gaga,
amazing.
sorry,
It's
yeah.
not Carey.
And Mariah
It's
Carey.
Carey.
Ms. Carey, yeah. Sorry, Mum.
Let's see what it's done to the overall scores. Lloyd having got 6. You having got 4. Fern having got 2.
Oh, Fern.
So now it's a lot of work to do by Fern with 2 rounds to go. But they are good rounds, and the final round is another high-scoring round. So we will
Really
see.
hope there's not a choir boy round.
There's not a choir boy round. This round, I'd say, puts all of you on an even footing, and you could walk into this quiz with no prior knowledge of anything in the world, and you'd be on an even footing because it is an observation round. We've done a couple of them before, and they go down weirdly. You watch a clip. This clip is from The Jerk, starring Steve Martin, whose tour we watched a lovely advertisement for a mere minutes ago. And you're going to watch the clip from The Jerk, and afterwards I'm going to ask you 5 questions from it. Let's hope you've observed it closely.
These cans are defective. They're springing leaks. Come over here, look at this.
Listen, you better run for cover. You're gonna spring a leak.
Huh?
We don't have defective cans. We have a defective person out there.
He hates these cans. Stay away from the cans. Die, gas pumper. I gotta get away from those cans. There's cans in there too. Run. More cans. Die, you bastard.
He doesn't want to put holes in the cans. He wants to put holes in you.
What? Milk-faced bastard! Oh my God! I'm endangering your life! Cover me!
You're covered.
Suck my toes! You stay here! I'll distract them! Shithead! Come on! Come on, boy! Good boy!
That was The Jerk, starring Steve Martin, a long clip with a lot of visual details, but which ones did you need to note down for this? Question 1, what colour were the mechanics' rags? Fairly starring role in the first section of that clip. Question 2, what kind of soft drink cans were in the vending machine? That, I suppose, you could have a swing at without even having watched the clip. Question 3 is fairly dependent on having watched the clip. What was the plate number of Steve Martin's car?
Oh my God.
I mean, this is a question of, you're obviously not going to remember that. You'd literally got that if you saw it and thought that might be in it and you noted it down. But that is asking a lot of you.
Were we allowed to write down notes?
Well, I didn't specify that at the start. Let's just assume that none of you have got the photographic memory required to know what the number plate of the car
I
is.
spent the entire clip just repeating in my head the number plate.
Well, write it down now and know that will be a point you've got that Lloyd Griffith hasn't got. Question 4 was referenced a couple more times in the clip. What was the name of Steve Martin's dog? He shouted his name.
Hear it.
Yeah.
And question 5, what was the speed limit in the carnival yard? Hard round.
Feels like more like Mensa than a pub quiz.
It was a bit Mensa there. Let's
I
just
would
hope we've
love
all
it if that's
named.
how you got into Mensa.
Is that not how you do it?
You got to watch The Jerk.
Not the whole movie, just 2 minutes, and you got to name that number plate, and then welcome to Mensa.
I watched Roxanne!
Guys, let's look at the answers. Number 1, what colour were the mechanics' rags? They were red.
Oh, what? When you said rags, I thought you meant like clothes.
It does feel like that's yet another attempt on behalf of the quiz setters to bamboozle Lloyd Griffith as an individual. I wouldn't want to be Lloyd Griffith on his next trip to the garage.
Yeah, it'd be like red overalls to a bull.
Oh, Stuart Laws, just take a sleeping tablet or something, because your mind is working too fast. Question 2. What kind of soft drink cans were in the vending machine? Fern Britton, what did you put for this?
Coca-Cola.
She put Coca-Cola, and she was right too. It was heaving.
Sorry, is Diet Pepsi okay?
Diet Pepsi is not okay, Lloyd. It's a sleeping tablet for you as well, Lloyd. Everyone is just on fire.
It's a good joke.
It's a lovely stuff. Fern, I would of course prescribe you a sleeping tablet for your quick wit, but we can already see your dog asleep on the sofa, and that's quite enough snoozing for one household. Number 3, what was the plate number, the controversial plate number of Steve Martin's car? It was P3C492. Christ alive.
Yes.
You absolute nerds. You Mensa nerds.
You did it. Fern and Stu have got into Mensa. Lloyd remains in Cleethorpes. Number 4, what was Steve Martin's dog called, Lloyd?
Now,
I didn't remember. I just put Buster. That's kind of quite a dog's name, isn't it?
What was it?
I heard him say
William.
it, but I was like repeating the registration plate in my head when he said it out loud and thought, oh, I've missed something important.
The answer was shithead.
No,
it's not.
I put
It was. He said, come on, shithead, twice. Question 5. What was the speed limit at the carnival yard? 10 miles per hour. Carnival personnel only. Fern, you've
20,
waved your sheet at me again there to suggest that you've got 10 miles an hour. She got 10 miles an hour. She
Take
got
a lot of notes,
Woof,
though.
it's 4. It's a lot of notes.
Wow.
With the notes approach. But you know what?
Yes, you see, you never forget.
Yeah, it's the sort of thing that you're allowed to do as a national treasure. Stu, you didn't take any notes. You maverick. How many did you get?
I got 4.
It's enough to keep him in the lead. Lloyd, what did you get?
I got a dreary 2.
A dreary 2. So it's 4 Fern, 4 Stu, 2 Lloyd. Where does that put us overall? So there we have it. It's Stuart on 21, it's Lloyd on 18, and Fern on 16.
Boy.
Oh, boy.
The good news for Fern and anyone else lagging behind is that round 6, the general knowledge round that brings us home, is like the first general knowledge round, also out of 9. So a swing is possible. But Stuart Laws has been so infuriatingly consistent. Our first question is about QVC. What does QVC stand for? I'm not reading out the whole question. We know it's a multinational corporation specializing in televised home shopping. What does it stand for? And that's just 1 point. That's just one. So you'll get a third for each of those. Question 2 has a lovely riddle-like quality to it. But it's not a riddle. It's based in fact. Which Olympic sport has a finish line that is never crossed? Which Olympic sport has a finish line that's never crossed? Question 3, we return to World War II. Good to have 2 of them about it. World War II started and ended in what month? I believe part of Daughters of Cornwall is set in World War I. Is that correct, Fern?
Yes, it goes. It may have mentioned it's a saga sweeping 100 years and 2 world wars, family secrets and dramas, 1915 to 2020.
Fern, you've tapped into the British public's love of military nostalgia.
I even wrote a slightly saucy, racy scene.
Oh, right. And is that going to make it in?
Of course it is, it's there.
Well, good to know that there's some proper smut to be enjoyed in amidst all the battles. Question 4. If you were to fly west from New York, due west, what would be the next country you would fly over? That's a fun question. Picture a globe in your mind and spin that globe. You're flying due west from New York. Where have you ended up first?
Okay.
And finally, ladies and gents, what were the 5 classic Disney animated features released in the 1950s? A big decade for Disney, the 50s, but what were the 5 films that came out? So Fern has got to be confident, and crucially, Laws has got to be all at sea, but he's not going to be all at sea. It's the last question of the quiz, and it's lovely to finish on Disney. While the contestants sweat a final chance to look at the childhood CD collection I've assembled for today's side drop, we've got some really sort of credible indie rock, and we've got some landfill. Let's do the answers, everybody. It's been a pleasure quizzing with you all, but all good things come to an end. First up, though, QVC. What does it stand for? Fern, would you do the Q?
E?
It is quality. Lloyd, would you do the V?
Value.
Correct. And Stu, would you do the C?
Channel.
Convenience. That was the hardest of the 3.
Yes.
The lock-in pub quiz. Quality, to an extent. Value, well, it's free. Convenience, it's on YouTube. So yeah, again, it hits those QVC key beats.
You need to hit all of them to get the point, or?
You get a third for each, which is going to make a mess with the total. What Olympic sport has a finish line that is never crossed? It was, I think you're about to say it, Lloyd.
Swimming?
It is swimming.
Oh!
What did you put, Fern? Archery. Right. Oh, no.
Quite good, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's quite good, Fern, but it's going to leave you in last place, I'm afraid. World War II started and ended in what month? Fern, you've got to have snuck this into your bloody book.
The 3rd, 1939.
Did you say September there, Fern?
September the 3rd, 1939.
What, in a really great piece of internet crackle, I keep not hearing the month that Fern says, but basically it's September, so if you got that right, give yourself a lovely point. And if you flew west from New York, Stu, where would you end up first?
I put South Korea.
You would actually fly over Japan.
I put Russia at first, then changed it to Japan.
Question 5 is about Disney. This is a happy hunting ground. Lloyd, did you put Cinderella?
I did, yeah. Thank you.
Fern?
Goodness.
Oh, look, there they are on the screen. Let's just crack through them. Cinderella, Alice in Wonderland, Peter Pan, Lady and the Tramp, Sleeping Beauty.
50s.
Lloyd's got all 5. 50s. All of those films came out in the 50s, Fern.
I think Lloyd
A
has
full sweep.
Cinderella. What
Alice
was
in
it?
Wonderland.
Sleeping Beauty. It's in bloody Wonderland.
Peter Pan. Lady and the Tramp.
And the Tramp. Bambi, Dumbo, and all that. I've done really well then.
Oh, Fern.
But you got them all.
We
Did you?
entered this quiz on the high of the Sunday Times bestseller chart, and we ended on a real low. Stu, did you get some of those Disney films?
Yeah, I got Sleeping Beauty, Alice in Wonderland, Cinderella, but I put Pinocchio and Dumbo.
Is Diet Pepsi okay?
Lloyd, how many did you get in total in that round?
9.
Congratulations for the full 9. That's a fantastic finish. Fern, what did you get for that full round?
Very sporting 2 1/3.
Sporting 2 1/3. The third almost makes it worse in a way. Stu, what did you get?
4 1/3.
4 1/3. Is that enough for Lloyd to...
I think
This
he
would
snuck
be
it.
incredible. Getting
The
today's
dog's very
non-existent lock-in pub quiz prize is, let's see the scores. Fern gets 18 1/3. Look how horrible the third looks on the page. Stu got 25 1/3, and Lloyd winning the
Yes!
quiz. Oh, no.
What a last round.
And also, I would have got a lot of higher points if you'd have actually given the correct answer as 89 pence for a pint of lager, which is what it was.
True.
Lloyd, win it with charm.
Thank
Do
you.
not use your victory
Thank you.
speech to bring up grievances from earlier in the quiz. You worm. So the winner on points is Lloyd Griffith.
Beyonce.
The winners on dignity and
Lady Gaga.
politeness were Fern and Stuart. I am, as ever, just a host having a shocker. But I'm here every week, and I do really enjoy it. And I've got a lot of CDs. Guys, thanks for watching the Lock-In Pub Quiz. Do, of course, if you can, check out and contribute to the Save Our Venues campaign, which is our partner charity. And please enjoy if you haven't watched many of the previous episodes on YouTube. But I hope you've enjoyed this one. Have you enjoyed yourself, Stu?
Yeah, up until that last round, it really has knocked me for
Again?
4 1/3.
What we're looking for at this point is blanket positivity. Okay, I'm
no,
aware that it's
you ain't getting
painful
it,
to
man.
have lost the lead.
I got into
Oh.
Mensa, and now I've been kicked out.
It just goes to show that Mensa isn't everything. Fern, you listen, you're rolling in it from your book. It doesn't matter.
I'm a dignified loser. That's what I am, and I don't mind. And I've
You
had
are.
a lovely time.
Oh, thank you so much for doing it, and it's lovely to see that your dog has woken up
very
just in time for the final scores. And Lloyd, I was rude to you before, but actually, it's lovely to see someone Kelly Holmes their way into the lead on the final round. So well done.
Very
Thank you.
good.
It's been an absolute joy. And thank you, Ivo, for being such a great host in such a lovely jacket.
You're
And-
lovely.
Thanks to my fellow contestants, you know what I mean? An absolute joy. So I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Astonishing to do that many thank yous and not thank your mother who you're living with. But there we go. You can resolve that with her at your leisure. Thank you
Cheers,
very
Mum.
much, guys. See you soon.
All I crave is a good pub feed.